Hi there, hope you're having a good day. Welcome back to another video. Today we'll be talking about the return of an iconic sneaker in the performance basketball shoe world. And this is the Nike Huarache 2K4 in the All-Star colorway. So retail price is set at 210 US dollars. Very expensive, as it should be. Wow, did I just say that? No, it's nasty, but I'll explain why I think this might be a much better purchase at roughly the same price point as their new GT Cut 4, LeBron 23, GT Future. Oh man. One of the reasons being this was a shoe Kobe wore before Kobe's were made. He had on this exact colorway during the 2004 NBA All-Star game, more than 20 years ago. That's crazy if you think about it. 22 years ago, to be exact. You can see they embroidered the date of that All-Star game inside the collar. Maybe I'll try to upload this video on February 15th. Also the date for this year's event, which is completely dead nowadays. You'll find the special LA logo on that gigantic shoebox, on the blue dust bag they come with, on the shoe itself, of course. I think they're also bringing back more colorways later on in 2026. So while we look forward to those, gotta discuss how they performed if we were to put these straight to test versus all these other modern hoop shoes on the market. Here we go. Cushion is not bad. Needs some break-in, but they'll feel pretty responsive. Definitely not a brick. It says Zoom Air on the bottom of the heel. A decent amount of compression back there. You get a carbon fiber shank plate. It adds a little bit of springiness to your steps. In terms of getting a strong underfoot sensation, this is not as prominent as some of their modern hoop shoes that feature full-length Zoom Strobo, Zoom X, double stack Zoom Air. Now this is not quite there, but you will get a nice subtle bounce when you play in them. Now my very first impression after getting these is regarding the weight. I was surprised at how light they are. 410 grams for my size. That puts them right around the average mark of all basketball shoes made today. On the court, there was no excessive weight anywhere on the shoe that could either slow you down or lower your speed. So I'm guessing you'll feel the same too. Once you get these in hand, you probably feel like this is lighter than what you expected for a 22-year-old model. I've never had the original version, so not sure if they changed things, but this is much lighter than I anticipated, for sure. Traction has been pretty good for me too. Mostly herringbone for the pattern. There is a small section made up of these triangles or diamonds inside a pot on the inner side of the forefoot. I'll say this, no problems whatsoever with the traction. You're not gonna hear a loud squeak, but you will be able to get to a nice and full stop on a consistent basis. I haven't had a case where I slide it out dangerously. Dust pickup is manageable too. If you're thinking about outdoor use or even wearing these casually, this type of firm, old school solid rubber outsole should be good to go. With the fit, I think this is a standard true to size fit. Slightly pointy in shape. However, there's still some space up front in the toe box, so you might want to be careful about sizing up because you don't want to end up having too much wiggle room inside as you move around. For that reason, I do not suggest going half size up. This applies to anybody. Wide footers, you probably want to try them out in person to be safe. For me, as someone with slightly wide and super flat feet, going true to size was a perfect fit. Did the strap drastically improve lockdown or made it too tight so that I started squeezing my feet? Nope. So it's just there. Oh, one more thing. The heel might seem to be super slim, but once you put them on, it'll be fine. Didn't affect the stability or fit of the shoe in general. So don't be mistaken by thinking that you'll need to size up because of this. For the upper material, I was most worried about breathability. Not really an issue as it turns out. Taking them off after a long sesh, I didn't feel like my feet were heating up too much inside. It's got like a little window here. This leather isn't buttery smooth, but it's pretty comfortable. No pinching and not too stiff. There's really not much padding anywhere on the interior, but I've also never felt like any particular part was rubbing against my ankle or hurting my feet like the GT Cut 4 did. So even in this aspect, I'd say it's not bad at all. Overall, I like it, especially as someone who's never had the opportunity to own a pair from the original release. I am very happy with this purchase. Again, bias of course because of the history behind the shoe, but if we're talking pure performance wise, this really is pretty darn good, even in today's standard. Against all these new hoop shoes with modern tech, they still have a competitive spot on my top list so far this year. That was my take on it. As always, please feel free to share your thoughts on the Huarache 2K4 returning this year. Cop or drop? Let us know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.